What's up, fam bam? Let's put this in the ether. Alright. You know, I'm sure everybody have heard about this phrases when people start saying follow your heart, right? Follow your heart. What does it mean by following your heart, right? Following your heart. What is your heart? Your feelings. Your feelings. What are your feelings? Your emotion, right? And I just want to say, you know what? Don't follow your heart, right? Use your brain instead. Alright, what is your feeling? What is your emotion, right? Your emotions sometimes end up to manipulate you, sometimes confuse you, sometimes right mislead you, right? That's why I don't believe in following your heart. I believe using your brain when making a decision, right? When doing something right. You want to use your brain, you want to think it out. You want to be rational about things. You do not want to make choices depending on emotions. Sometimes emotion will misguide you, lead you in the wrong direction. When guys choose a woman, they choose by their emotion, thinking she's a good girl, not realizing that she might be taking advantage of him, mislead him, taking the wrong directions, right? Or save us for anything else, right? Don't. And when I hear this from people, you know what? Follow your heart, and that's like the worst thing in my mind. It's like the worst thing anybody could tell people what to do. Like, bro, when making tough decisions, you can't just follow your heart. You just can't follow your emotions. You can't follow love. Oh, do what you love. You just can't do what you love. All right, I love smoking weed. I love doing alcohol. Or should you do it all the time? No, you should all the time. Use your brain, right? That's why you have it. That's why you have a mind to think for yourself. Don't do what you think. Don't do what your heart tells you to do. Sometimes it misguides you, misdirect you to the wrong things in life, right? Don't listen to your emotions, right? That's why everybody keep telling guys don't make a decision based on emotion. Emotion gets sporadic. Emotion get clouded, right? That's why I tend to, it bothers me, and I'm a person that don't be bothered by much, but it bothers me when people say follow your heart, right? Don't do that. Disregard what everybody say when they say follow your heart. That means these people have no cognitive capability to think. In a world today, you have to have the ability to think, especially thinking for yourself and not following the herd. When you follow the herd, right? If the herd might go in the wrong direction. When you look at a buffalo, right? Water buffalo, they're all running the same direction. What that one buffalo leading all the herd to a dangerous direction? That's leading to the doom. What if they run into a cliff, right? Then they run to their death, right? Remember back in the days, you know how cavemen used to hunt, right? They cluster a buffalo, right? Surrounded them in one pack, then they scared them to one direction, which is a cliff, right? They scared them to the buffalo. Don't know where's the cliff's at, so they just follow the rest of the herd, right? So they chase into that direction of the cliff, right? So they just follow each other until they fall off the cliff. That's how cavemen used to hunt. And then when they fall off the cliff, the cavemen just go down the cliff and gather all the carcass, right? That's how they hunt all these buffaloes. That's how they survive for their meat. But I digress on that, right? This is what happens when you do follow the herd. It leads you to death. You want to be an independent thinker. You want to think for yourself, right? If one crowd go one direction, you go the other directions, right? You don't have to follow them, right? Or follow your heart, right? That's why it irks me when you follow your heart. You're just doing what everyone else are doing. You're doing what people are for years and years are being told the same thing, not realizing, not analyzing what they're saying, right? When you follow your heart, you're following your emotions. Emotion will mislead you, will provide the wrong informations, right? Because when you are guided by your emotion, emotions is not 100% pure fact. Emotion is not proving anything, right? It's not collecting the data. You want to use data. You want to use your ability to think, to collect all the information first before you make any decisions, right? Follow your heart. When you choose a woman, follow your heart. Make sure you love her. No, don't make sure you love her. You want to know her past, what she have done, what are her actions, what she said, what she have lied, right? How many kids she have, who are her partners, right? Or her records. You want to do that before you making the judgment, making your decision, marrying the persons, right? You just don't. Okay, I love a person. I love her because she looks good. I find her because I love her, because I love her attraction. Next thing you know, this leads to all these terrible events that it could have been avoided if you would have done your homework, your research. Right? Use your brain next time before you making a decisions on anything. Right? Following your heart will most likely make you make the wrong decisions. Right? Follow your heart. Follow your dreams, right? Follow what makes you happy. No, don't do that, man. Don't do that. Pick a career that's rational, that's pay off, right? Pick a direction that's pay off. Then when you pay off, then when you're filthy rich or whatever made, then you can probably do whatever. When you have FU money, then you can probably follow your heart and do whatever you want, right? But if you're not in that situation yet, you should make rational decisions. Make the decision that's good for business. Make decision that's good for your future. Make decision that's good for your relationships, right? But don't just follow your emotions because of people keep telling you to follow your emotions, right? Because your emotion could be wrong at some point. Your emotions are not usually correct, right? Your emotions are usually wrong at some point, right? Your emotions are not right 100%, right? So this idea of following your heart, and you see this everywhere on TV, on media, and they say this is a wise thing. No, the wise thing you should do is gather all your information and use your brain. That's the wisest thing you can do, right? I'm not saying I know everything, right? But every time when I just follow my heart, pick something as a whim, it usually doesn't come out right, and usually it does. It usually my expectation falls short, right? Because I thought this was this, but in reality it turns to this. I got with a woman because I love her, but in reality it turns out to be a failure, right? That's what leading with your emotion feels like. Leading with your heart, right? Leading with your heart and do all these things that you shouldn't be doing, right? You need to think before you do it. Think about your actions, right? Think about everything, right? Make rational decisions, right? But the thing is different with men and women love to follow their heart, right? And where does that get them? It gets them to fail relationships, fail partnerships, fail everything, failure, fail direction in life, right? They want to be this, that, and that, not realizing it's not going to pay off. They want to make a genuine study and follow your heart, follow your passions. Next thing you know, it didn't turn out right. Now they're just stuck doing things they don't want to do in life, right? And they make their decision based on following your heart, follow your emotion. You should never do that. For a guy out there, you're supposed to make practical decisions, get a job that pays well, make sure that job is secured, right? Make sure that your future is secured before you do anything irrational. That's if you want to do anything irrational. Obviously, why would you want to do that? But this idea of following your heart, man. People might contest me, might disagree with me, but go ahead, man. Disagree with all you want. I bet you this is the same person that followed their heart, and look where they're at right now, right? Follow your heart, right? When you follow your heart, for another example, a veteran, right? He followed his heart not to kill an enemy at war, right? Your opponent at war. Your compassion, you follow what you want to kill it. But yet again, this enemy had the capability to kill you, right? You had to do what's rational to eliminate your enemy before he become a threat. Neutralize the enemy before it become a threat. At certain time, I know it comes with a moral stance, but the reason why you do it is because when you put other people's lives in danger, right? Like I know I brought the story up once before. Is that I know a Vietnam veteran, right? His sergeant told him to dispose these, because during Vietnam, right, it was guerrilla warfare. You don't know who's your enemy, right? You see grandmas, children were shooting machine guns at U.S. troop. You don't know who you don't know who's in the bushes, and then when you find out who's in the bushes, it turned out to be a grandma, gray haired lady, a child with a machine gun, right? And they were fighting in the Viet Cong, right? And the sergeant of the guy I know told him to terminate them, right? But he couldn't do it. He couldn't pull the trigger. Remember, this is wartime. There's no rules when it comes to war, right? You don't know who's your enemy. If you don't dispose your enemy, your enemy will dispose you, right? So he couldn't do it. So when he disobeyed his sergeant, right? Because he was following his heart not to do it. I understand people have a moral stance. He have a moral stance, right? But what that leads him, what's the outcome of that? The outcome is that he's dishonorable. They gave him a dishonorable discharge. That's mean he did not qualify for all his benefits for nothing because he violated the rules. He didn't listen to his sergeant, right? And he was kicked out of the army, right? And I know it's a tough decision, right? To pull that trigger on an old grandma, but if he weren't to do that, wasn't willing to do that, that means he put his platoon in danger, right? What if they get access to a gun? Then his whole platoon will get shot up. Then he's responsible for his own men out there, death of his own men, right? That's what happened when he didn't follow his heart. If he followed his heart, what are the outcome of that, right? So you have to make the rational decisions. I mean, I'm not a killer by any means, but at some point, right? I understand the rationality of it because you have to pick a side. You were on our. I know I'm not for war, right? But you're on the a side, your team. You have to do what's good for your team, right? Or else you guys are dead. Right? But he was following us to it. And what's the outcome of that? He got disarmed with discharge. He didn't get his benefits, so he was kicked out of the army, and now he had to live with that regret for the rest of his life. But I guess that's a decision he's willing to take. But I'm just giving it some examples. I'm not saying don't kill anybody. I'm not advocating for killing. But I'm just saying sometimes when you follow your heart, when you don't make rational decisions, right, it could lead to dire consequences, right? You have to use your brain in that situations, right? You have to make the right judgment, right? I guess for him, I think him following and starting not to kill those people was the right decision, and have to live up with those decisions for the rest of his life. But I digress on that, right? But for me, when I do follow my heart, sometimes, right, it leads to a regretful decisions that you wish you knew. I wanted to do this in college. I wanna major in art. All right. I wanna practice all these stuff in art. The next thing you know, realize that I'm just giving an example. Realize that not artists when they get out of college, there's no job fine for them. Then some of these people regret for their major in colleges, right? Because they were following their heart, what they love to do. Then they realized the job wasn't there. Now they have to struggle for the rest of their life. They should just major in STEMs or major in what's that? Major in math because they should have made a wise decision when it comes to their education. Pick a field that's easy. You could easily find a job afterward. No, but they decided to go for gender studies, right? And they were following their heart because they love this kind of thing, not realizing there's no opportunity. There's no opportunity when you get out of college, right? That's what I mean by usually when you follow your heart, doing the things you want to do, it doesn't lead to the outcome that you wanted to do. Because sometimes college is a lie. They lie to you. They give out meaningless degrees to certain fields that doesn't provide any job. That's what I'm talking about, right? Sometimes following your heart, right, might lead you to the worst decision ever, right? So that's why I'm advocating using your brain more. Don't follow your heart. Use your brain. Alright? Don't follow your emotions. Use your brain. Right? Use logic, statistics, data. Because so sometimes those number never lies to you. Alright? And if you have the right critical thinking skills, hey, that's a plus even more. But just don't follow your heart. Right? Your feelings are blind. Your emotions are blind. It doesn't show you all the outcomes. But on that note, guys, let me know what you think. Do you agree or disagree? You think you should follow your heart, or you think you shouldn't follow your heart? Right? Let me know you agree. And you like my video. Share, like, subscribe. I drop videos daily. On that note, guys, peace and blessings.